Hey, this is MapFollowersFake, and welcome back to map making tutorials. I guess this is what this series will be called. Today, I'm going to be looking at Enchanted Books. They were introduced back in 1.4.7, that's where I got confused, and they were introduced in the New Year's update. I believe this command does work. Yep, mad scientist, get out of here. It's not your time yet. Yeah, they were introduced during the New Year update for, what would it have been, 2013's New Year. They introduced fireworks in the same update, that's why they introduced it rather than 1.5. So yeah, Enchanted Books are pretty interesting. If you go check the menu here, we go Enchanted Books, and so here's a Protection 1 Enchanted Book. And when you think to summon or give, using commands, an enchanted book, this is what happens when you say /give player, in my case legit -7, enchanted _book. That's the 1.8 version. If you're playing in 1.7, then this will be 403, which I believe is the numeric ID for this thing. Yeah, 403, that's it. And then you put 1 for count, and then 0 for data tag, damage value, whatever. And it gives you this, which is an enchanted book that isn't actually enchanted at all, it's just empty. So, how do we put enchantments on the enchanting book without, like, using the creative menu? Just using commands. How can I use commands to say, give me this, for example? Well, as you can see, this doesn't have a damage value like, is there anything here? Yeah, this has a damage value. As you can see, the damage value is 16,396 on this, but this one doesn't. And that proves that Enchanted Books actually aren't differentiated from their damage values, and it wouldn't really make sense because damage values have to be inputted manually by Mojang, and there's theoretically infinite enchantments. You could have like sharpness 125, for example. I mean, they're not going to program millions of them individually. It's same thing with fireworks, but I can't show you because they're not in the creative menu. So, how would we go about this? Probably the first reaction people might have would be to use the ench tag. It's a MBT tag, which goes, if I were to do it here, it would go somewhere in there, and it'd be ench, and then square bracket, curly bracket, curly bracket, square bracket. Inside the curly brackets you do ID, whatever, so I'm going to go 2, and then level 2, and so I click done, and then it gives me, that's curly brackets. Maybe I shouldn't do this stuff on the go. Ah, I see. This is a square bracket. Yep, and that looks balanced now. Yep, and so this gives me an enchanted book with feather falling 2, but if you notice, it's a tad bit different from the regular one. It's got a blue name similar to an actual enchanted weapon. And the thing here, which is in the second command block, I believe, this is an example of like a really weird enchanted book. What's happening here is that it's not actually letting you. It's hard to explain, but if I'm going to put in here, and I got this and put this in, this will only work in creative. In survival, it just will give you no option. But you got protection 1, it gives protection 2. So if I were to put this in slot 2, you would predict that the pickaxe would come out with protection 1, fire protection 2, and thorns 7, but it doesn't. Now, what's happening here is pretty interesting. Let's modify this one for a second. So 16, this is the ID for sharpness, or the numeric IDs will be in the description. Before I go any further, I'm in snapshot 14W20B. If you're in a lower version, I don't guarantee that it will work. It may, but it may not. Also, Not loading. Also, be careful when you copy the commands in the description, because sometimes they add hyphens into it. YouTube does that, so it's a bit annoying. So here we got a sharpness 2 Enchanted Book, and sharpness 2, to put into comparison of how effective it is, I think I remember hearing someone say a long time ago, a sharpness 2, say if this command block was enchanted with sharpness 2, like I put a sharpness 2 book on it, so sharp, yeah, if I put this on the command block using an anvil, then this would be as effective as a stone sword. It would be a 4-shot kill for a creeper or something. And for this, if I were to smack a creeper in the face with this, it would take 4 shots rather than the usual 20, because they've got 10 full hearts, which is 20 hit points. So I'm just not going to even bother doing it with non-hand, but we go 1, 2, 3, and 4. Was I wrong? Maybe it was outdated, but you can definitely tell that is much shorter than the usual. So what we've actually done is created an actual book with an enchantment on it, but you can't actually transfer this enchantment over to anything, unfortunately. So this could be a pretty troll map making device. Love that command and the shortcut. So this can be used as a pretty troll map making device. You could have like a chest and it's got all this cool stuff, and then you see like a sharpness 1 looting free book in there with a blue name, and the person's like, sweet, and it's early on in the game, so they're really excited, and then they go to the anvil and can't use it. Meanwhile, you're supposed to be using it to smack monsters in the face and get looting effect on them. It's pretty cool. So we were up to here. So this one tells us how to properly do it. I'll make space, remove you two, I guess, and put you up there. So I think this one is the one which, yeah, this one does give you it. So I didn't properly go through how this command works. I think, yeah, ench, and then you got the first enchantment, second enchantment, the ID of the first enchantment, the level of the first enchantment. It's pretty simple. And as for this one, we used pretty much the same thing as before with this book, except rather than using the ench tag, we use the StoredEnchantments tag, and pretty much everything else is the same. So this is what we get, and it works perfectly. If I try and put it on my pickaxe, it will work, except I think the fire protection 2 is getting cancelled out by the protection. So if I were to put, say, the sword in here, which has neither of them, then yes, it will work completely well. And that is how you spawn a proper, legitimate enchanted book. And that way you can actually get enchanted books which have a higher level than normal, because Thorns goes up to maximum 3, and that's 7. Nothing goes up to 7. So I guess I'm not even sure in survival would this even work if I had, let's go, iron armor chest piece. So game mode 1. I'm not even sure if this will actually work due to game because of the levels, but it does work, so it is possible. But Thorns goes down to 3, so that's an interesting feature. I didn't know that. If you're wondering, I actually have a custom beacon in the area. That one, it gives off health boost and invisibility. If you want that command, that's also in the description. And so, with experimenting on things, I think this is the one I did last time. Yeah. So this one is it any different? Stored enchantment. Oh, right, different one. So this is what happens when you try and put it on something other than a book. So we go get this. Nothing. My goal was to hope that I'd actually get a yellow name item, because you can only get white or blue, or in case of enchanted books, yellow. So that's a pity. This command block contains exactly what I just did. This one contains something interesting. It's got both StoredEnchantments tag and the enchanting tag. So let's look at what this is. So we have a fire aspect 2 sharpness 10 book, but it's yellow name. But you saw the ench tag, and in this, the ench tag is giving an enchantment of level 6, no, ID 16, which is sharpness, and level 10, which translates to X on the book. So that's the second enchantment, but it's yellow name. So what would happen if I hit it? If this was a regular blue enchantment, then this would give Fire Aspect 2 sharpness 10 effect on a mob. If it's just an enchanted book, then it would let me fuse these together. But as you see, the sharpness doesn't carry over, which is interesting. I thought it wouldn't work at all, but it doesn't. It just doesn't transfer over sharpness. So we go over to creep over here, hit him once, no fire aspect. Hit him twice, and he dies because we got sharpness 10. That's really powerful. So that is a interesting way to hide an extra feature. Wait, did I put it on the sword because it won't work on the sword? Yeah, just testing out. So that's how you can hide hidden enchantments and fool the user. But as seen here, if you leave the stored enchantments tag empty, then you just get a blue name thing. And if I think I do it without the no, it's this one. No. Yep. Okay, so if I do this one with nothing in the brackets, for the ench tag, it just makes it blue and nothing inside of it. For this one, nothing. The stored ench tag, when empty, just does absolutely nothing. So that's pretty much the end of it, everything I have to show you. If you thought this video was interesting or helpful, then leave a like, because it really does show me that I'm doing something right. I know most people do it for popularity, but I do it just to see that I'm doing stuff right. And if you have any suggestions or want a question asked about map making, then either send me a message, or there's a link to the description in a link in the description to a website which I actually found the stored enchantments tag on. I tried left clicking, but you can't see it. And yeah, it was really helpful, and I found a lot of other cool tags on there, and found a lot of stuff which has helped me with some special stuff over there. Again, I tried left clicking. But anyway, that's pretty much it for the end of the episode. So thanks for watching, and I will hopefully see you later. Bye.